Hey everybody, this is Grace. Losing my voice, yeah, but good way to start off a video. I just had an experience, and it's something I did a video about before. It involves that, or what brought to my mind. And that was a video I did about the stalker. I had more than one stalker, but this one, the video was one that was really bad situation for 4.5 years altogether. And I'll try to remember to put the link to it in a little thumbnail rectangular thing at the end of the video, so you can go to that if you want to watch it also. But yeah, I had an experience with this stalker guy, and like I said, went on 4.5 years, and it was terrible. He threatened me, my life, my family's life, and when you have that burden on you, if I were to leave him, it started off, we were dating, we were actually just supposed to be activity partners, outdoor activity partners, like doing things I hadn't done since I was a child, like fishing or fishing, things like that. And I don't fish anymore after that experience. But and then we started dating, and then he turned into a stalker. He looked like a nice guy, acted like a nice guy, of course, the love bombing thing, and turned out to be holy terror. Seriously. So, okay, now he passed away 6 months after I told his dad. After 4.5 years, I just couldn't handle it any longer. I mean, I was going through pure hell all those years. Once he became the stalker, once his true colors came out, and I finally told his dad, this guy was in his 40s, and I told his dad if he doesn't make him leave me alone, he was going back to prison. And you heard me right, going back to prison. And there was a whole deal about, they wouldn't send him back and all this kind of stuff, lies, BS. That guy was definitely, at least, I would say, a psychopath. I don't diagnose, but in my mind, I'd say he's a psychopath. But anyway, after that, 6 months later, he passed away. He died from some kind of heart condition, and about a year after that, his dad passed away. But anyway, yeah, the stalker died. Okay, now I was doing a series about different things, dysfunctional family and all that, so, and this was one of them I mentioned that it's more like, it just continues, things continue on, and it's like you have a pattern repeating in your life. So anyway, and I mentioned in one of them that when I was that I have an adrenal disorder, and I'm sure it's due to early childhood trauma. Say early childhood. Okay, look, you're either going to go, or you're going to go forward or go backwards. What is it? How people sometimes they'll see your blinker, but they'll hang on you. Oh yeah, real life happens in the middle of a video. But anyway, and yes, they were doing it before I put my blinker on, just kind of, like hovering to the side of me. So anyway, but this type. This type. Let me get my head back on here. What was I talking about? The stalker guy. Okay, really horrible part of my life. It was just unbelievable. Okay, I was just given an attitude. I don't like attitude, so I gave an attitude back. Yeah, real life happens. Anyway, so this guy, okay, he was terrible. Totally, he was actually on a TV channel, and I'm not going to go into why. It's easy to actually just look it up. And because of his evilness, seriously, I didn't know. Of course, I didn't know when I first met him, and yeah, how they can keep things a secret. And I had actually, I don't know if that was back when I could actually, run backgrounds on people. You can today, but back then it was unusual that you could. I don't know how you do it today. I haven't had any reason to do it. But I'm talking about criminal history, everything. Back then it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't something that everybody could do. And I don't know what it is today. But anyway, and I didn't really find anything. But yeah, some of it, the way it was worded was wrong. He had spent most of his life, or about half of his life, in prison. Really bad dude, really bad character. And anyway, the reason I'm talking about this now is because, and I mentioned that about being tall. You know, in kindergarten, me and another girl, you know, we realized we were standing in line the first day, I think it was, at school, and waiting in line to go to the little girls' room. You know, this little building that was separate from the classroom, and she and I both realized what's, you know, he mentioned it, something's different about us. Yeah, we were tall. We were always tall. I've always been tall. And I think that the adrenal disorder, you know, and all that didn't help. But so I'm a tall woman. Okay, I'm taller than your average man, and I'm female. Always been female, and I'm that tall. And when I go into like a store or something, usually while I'm waiting in line, like a convenience store, like I was just in, and I'm usually the tallest person. Seriously. Now I'm not a giant, but yeah. But I don't say what height I am. But anyway, I'm tall, and this stalker guy was a little bit taller. I mean, you're around the same height, really. Okay, so the reason it's on my mind is I was in that convenience store waiting in line. When I walked up to the line, and this guy in front of me, I just saw the back of him, and he was in front of me facing forward, and it made me think of the stalker. And everything about this guy was stalker. You know, like the stalker. He had the one that I had dated had mainly he would keep his hair really short because he was balding on top, and he would always wear a cap, usually something like you think of what is it called? Camouflage, that kind of thing, isn't it? With a green one, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know. I'm not the type to dress like that, so I don't know. Like this guy in the store had that, and the same thing with his hair, and it had a certain shape to his head, and his shoulders really bulky. Okay, like real massive. Wouldn't be normal unless they something happened that wasn't right. And yeah, she didn't put all that I ordered on my order, so and I wasn't going to wait for however long it took to make it. Yeah, it was fajitas. So anyway, you're getting a vlog with me. But yeah, the whole thing about, I keep wanting to say his name, but I did on one channel. I tried to tell the stories before on one channel, but it was just too much then for me to try. I want to get home in one piece here. This stuff just continued. But anyway, where was I? Man, I'm telling you, I'm more distracted in this one than I think ever. But it was very, okay, this guy. And the guy that I had dated, the guy that was the stalker, had really wide shoulders, really massive arms, chest, and, you know, all that. Now, this guy can only see from the back, but yeah, you know, you can still tell it's just so wide, and I could see the arms, I could see his legs. He had on shorts, I think. Yeah, in the wintertime. Probably has as much brains. It's being mean. Yeah, but this is the point. It was making me feel anxiety. I mean, not the kind of anxiety I'm used to, you know, like you panic. Mine turns into panic. It was more of just, you know, like not really, well, flashbacks coming. Yeah, that kind of thing. And just not feeling all that comfortable. And now I didn't think the guy was going to turn around and be Steven, but, you know, the guy did kind of look up to the side, and I was like, see, I said his name. Anyway, so his name is Steven. But, yeah, so I might as well go on with it. Like I said, I did it on another channel. But anyway, he looked like him. I mean, seriously, the face and everything. The only thing that was different was when the guy got up there and you know, he said something to the cashier. And now I didn't think that it was him because Stephen is dead, and he died. And that was, I don't know how many years ago. Really, I cannot remember how many years ago that was. And but still, that same kind of thing, that the way that I felt back then, how stressed out I was, how it was life in a panic, life in wondering, is he going to harm my family? Is he going to harm me? And the things that he said, the way he was going to harm me, and them, and all of that kind of stuff, I could feel it, and I'm getting a headache even talking about it. But it's something that I really do need to process. And I mean, it's been years. And of course, I have some, but when something like that happens, how it brings it back, and when, your life and the people you love, their lives, your loved ones are in danger because of some crazy lunatic, psycho, pure psycho. And it is odd that I just talked about that on a video. I think I made it about a month or so ago. So, and then that happened. I haven't run across anybody that looked like Stephen, and I don't know. There wasn't actually a story that was kind of freaky too. Now, Stephen was adopted, and when he was a baby, never knew his, never knew his real parents. I think that it was just the mom, or I don't remember. But he didn't even want to know them and all that. Now, the suburb of Dallas that where he was adopted, and from there was some, I think it was not a hospital, something that he was adopted from. Okay, after I knew him, I had met him, and I was going on with my life. I was divorced and dating. Well, I met this other guy that was like a couple of years older than Stephen, maybe a year and a half, I don't know. And this other guy, after I started dating him, I started noticing how he was so much like Stephen, which, we can do. But it was more than that. It was more than just the behaviors. Stephen had, he was diagnosed as bipolar. He was on medication whenever he'd take it. ADHD, whenever, I don't think they would give it to him. The medication for it. And like I said, I think he was a psychopath. And all kinds of things like that, and his health conditions and so on and so forth. Well, the guy that I dated was so much like him that I started to realize things like they went to the same high school, they were both adopted from that place into different, not the same family. But it was freaky, and I talked to his dad one time about it because it was so strange. Stephen's dad. Now, Stephen's dad was nice to me, and it's in so many stories, but I talked to his dad about it, and he said, I hope you didn't tell him. Now, his dad, he was the one that adopted him. His mom died when he was young. But his dad kind of knew something, and I knew that Stephen actually had a brother that was adopted, and it was the guy that I dated after Stephen. Oh man, not for long, because I realized this guy's just as bad. He wasn't a stalker type, but he was just as bad. I would say that's too coincidental. I would agree. I would agree. But it was a coincidence, but yeah, it was very weird. Very, some would say unlikely, but is it really? Okay. Yeah, there's so much I could say to that right now, but it would all be really speculation as it is. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Just wanted to do a little video on that.